So if that's what they want, then I would say, okay, fine. Registration? Absolutely not. The no-fly list is ridiculous. If you're on a no-fly list, you can't buy a gun. There are 800,000 people on a no-fly list. Some of them are congressmen and senators and TV pundits that we know aren't terrorists. So that's a de facto gun control. Because if they get that done, then they just start adding people to the no-fly list.
Yeah, but the problem is that no-fly list, they got congressmen on there, they can't get off.
Right. So there's no due
because
process.
the government screwed up.
Right. So therefore, the government now has a backdoor way to limit guns to people, and they'll just put you on the watch list. And there's no process to get off the list. There's no due process at all. So that's BS. And how are they watching 800,000 people? Do you think there's 800,000 people in America that are potential terrorists? I don't, and I think there are people in the country that are. Almost 1 million people? That's ridiculous. So the government just blanketed. I mean, because you went to Istanbul and came back, now all of a sudden, oh, you're on the watch list. Well, you know, maybe that's my descendant, my grandma's about to die, still live. I mean, you know, there's lots of reasons people travel out and in. But what they should do is profile, like the Israelis do. If I was president, first thing I do is I'd call the Israelis over and teach them. Huh?
That's not numbers.
I don't care about nice. You know, screw nice. But the background check just by itself, fine. But the problem is you give these libtards an inch and they take 20 miles. It's the slippery slope. So we just start saying no. And you don't have a constitutional right to own a car. But you do have a constitutional right to own a gun. So the registration of the gun is a red herring. It doesn't fly. We're talking about constitutional Bill of Rights.
So the gun that I got is not actually registered, but I just didn't have one.
And so what happens is the TBI purchases their files every night. So they've got a list of what's happening. Howard bought this gun today at 3:30 to shoot. Tomorrow, supposedly, those files are purged. They're legally not allowed to keep that as a database. So, because everybody goes, well, as soon as you go through a background check, they got your name and the gun you bought, that's registration. Well, no. So they change the law. So they cannot hang on to those files because that becomes de facto registration. And registration I'm totally against. Totally against.
Guess what? They got that the NSA, they're like, this is the telephone conversation. They're supposed to have a court order, a judge, and all that shit. So you know. Not guaranteed you say they're purging it. They got another guy from the NSA that's
keeping it file away.
He's keeping on it. They keep every damn thing.
Of course. So I mean that's the way it's supposed to be, and I don't know if it actually happens that way or not. But that's the theory. So yeah, it's interesting. And no background check that would stop the guy in Orlando or the guy in any of these shootings. No background check would have stopped any of them. None of the gun laws that they want to pass would have stopped any of them. It doesn't make any sense. There are so many more people killed in America by illegal aliens driving without a license drunk.
Well, let me ask you something. Now, if they had the laws were strict, they shouldn't have a problem. They do have a strict law in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and they kill more people there than anywhere.
In the story. And the laws that are on the books, they don't enforce them. So we don't need more laws. We need enforcement of the laws that are already there. I mean, I'm regurgitating, but it's true. It's
No, about this immigration. Look at you, somebody's been here for 13 or 20 years or whatever. They got kids that are legal when they were born here, and they're all good citizens. How are you going to deport them?
They're not.
They're not going to because it's not plausible, and that is a hard one for me because I believe in closing the border, but I also have a lot of guys that I work with, and I'm sure are illegal, and are good, hard-working guys, and they've got family. And Nacho, my painter, his kids have grown up here in public schools. They speak English as well as I do. Whether he's legal, I'm pretty sure he's legal or he's on some kind of a visa, but use him as an example. Let's just say he's not legal. He's a hard-working guy, and he wants to do better things for his family. So I don't really know how you process that.
They should have closed the damn border now, and then all the people that are here, they need to register them or something to find out who the hell is here. And then
this is my analogy. If you call me, I'm a builder, you say, I got water running in my basement and my basement's filling up. The first thing I'm going to do is find where the water's coming from and I'm going to stop it. After I've stopped the water, then I will look to the basement and go, how much water is here and how do I deal with it, right? So if I'm president, or if you want my opinion, I say stop it. Close the border, shut it down. And then once I've stemmed the tide, it's not coming, then I will look back and go, okay, who's here, how many, what do we do? Then it's different. Now maybe I could possibly, as an individual, accept an amnesty of some sorts. Because I'll tell you what, when they say it's the jobs that Americans don't want, it is the jobs that Americans don't want. There are not a bunch of white guys out there crying on unemployment because they want to be up on that roof that I'm roofing today at 100 degrees. They don't want it. They wouldn't do it.
Well, you know, a lot of these people from Mexico want to do it. Things are so bad down there that you have to do it.
Well, but
They're
then,
killing them.
but now Mexico's growing, and a lot of people are going back to Mexico because there's a building boom there
You
too.
know, it is. I said Mexico. It's for themselves.
South, Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Cuba. Yeah, so they work hard, they're willing to do it because they have no education.
Yeah, but they have games and all kinds of
I had a
shit.
70-year-old man on a landscape crew that works as hard as anybody you've ever seen. He's 70 years old. He's Mexican as anybody ever was. I mean, you know, that guy.
They could do that. He never worked at a federal facility, he worked at a county facility.
You know, they got to work with him that wanted to get away from it.
You know, they pulled him off that job site.
Yeah, it was too late. Probably had to quit.
Well, he quit, I think, for other reasons. You know, there are some broke dicks, for lack of better terminology, in our company.
Oh, you think?
Well, yeah,
They're
but,
everywhere. I mean, any organization that size.
yeah, I mean, in the U.S. we have, I forget what they said, how many guards. Worldwide we have 660,000 employees. Not all of them are guards. Yeah, we're huge. Second largest employer in the world.
Second Walmart?
Second to Walmart.
Second Walmart.
Well, you gotta be looking at your upload and then your download. Just go to speedtest.com. You know, toast is something I eat in the morning.
Okay, what is it?
Speedtest.com. What's that? You notice? Oh, yeah.
I mean, a truck goes by and a fucking
Cloud.
dust storm behind it comes, you just hold your breath and throw your nice ones in.
Yeah.
You have different shit in here, like beer gel.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
You know, our company, they sent out to everybody because they were getting so many requests for information from employees. They sent out a whole page on how that whole thing went down.
eBay.
What?
I think on Facebook says, I'm glad to say you're gonna just use eBay bake sales.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, they were saying, I forget who it was, I think the said he was going to take the books and all the bacon grease.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, after he shoots him, say, by the way, you do eat pork now.
Yeah.
Well, they used to say that on LL Airlines they would put like a dead
Big head? or something?
pig on the front.
Oh.
To do what?
Keep him off the plane?
Yeah, like it was such.
I think if they're jihadis, you know what, most of the jihadis break the rules, they do drugs, they screw